Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over in the test account and we're going to be looking at the Awakened version of Skriath, running him in the trials. Now, one thing to note about this hero that seems very, very broken, that a lot of players, and really does have a lot of players very impressed, is the SP effect that he possesses. So you notice at the start of battle, all other heroes lose 15% of their initial attack rating. When Skriath enters the battlefield, he gains 100% of the total attack rating. Those heroes lost up to 150% of the initial attack rating. This essentially means 15% of all the stats from other heroes are going to be included into him, making him probably one of the strongest, or probably one of the strongest teams that we are having. There's a lot of different things that players are talking about. And I know also with the patch, they're raising the damage caps or in the damage reduction, the enrage timer. There's a lot of different things which are going to really, and a lot of people are saying, revolutionize AFK Arena, and have the ability for some of these heroes. And I know we've talked about like power creep before and all these heroes. Raising the cap makes a big difference, because when you think of heroes, even like Shahan, might make a big difference in formations that are utilized within different game modes because of the enrage cap, or because of the ability to cap. Now, what we mean by this is when it comes to damage and when it comes to the scaling damage, it seems like everyone ramps up very quick and then it kind of levels off. Even looking at whales, even looking at krakens, it's hard to get, behind in really thinking of a whale and thinking of a kraken player where they might be a little bit higher. Their damage is not going to be too and not have a huge variance, because they are kind of hitting that cap, that ceiling that we've seen within an AFK Arena. We've seen it way back with the guild bosses. Now, from my understanding, the dynamic that they do within the Cursed Realm and a couple other places, they haven't done it in, I believe, the last 2 years. So we're going to have to see exactly what it looks like with these heroes. And it also could mean, again, a lot of damage dealing heroes with a much higher cap. We'll see a lot more damage out of here. And again, I want to kind of see where he is coming in. Now, when again you think of his SP effect, they're talking about it goes in and it will make a big difference on not only going in with the SP effect and how it's going to affect Skriath and how it's going to affect your team, but it's also going to make a big difference on how many opponents you have. And this kind of goes back to, it seems like he is built for the Cursed Realm and he's built for the Treasure Scramble. Seems like the Nightmare Corridor, we might see him in there somewhere. And I'll look after we do the trial in here to see if we're seeing him being used anywhere. I'm just going to go ahead and leave him with whatever we have. Again, start a battle, all other heroes lose 15% of the initial attack. Now, again, from my understanding, all other heroes means the enemy side and also the allied side. When he enters the battlefield, he gains 100% of the total attack rating. Those heroes lost. So again, this is going to be interesting to see exactly where his damage comes in. And I want to see, because remember, he's not coming in for a while, guys. We got some buffs up. We got some shields up. There he is, about 7 minutes in. Comes right out of the gate with the ultimate ability. And look at that. Just kills everybody. It just literally comes out of the gate and just kills everyone with the ult. That is very cool, guys. 41 million in there. And I like doing this baseline. I like doing it just where he's by himself at the even level, just to kind of see where he comes in. And I think this delay is too long. Honestly, I could see 3 seconds. 7 seconds in seems a little bit excessive. And literally, he pretty much just runs everyone over again. Haven't seen a hero do that. There's 55 million right there. And I feel like, again, the 7 seconds is too long for him to come in within this battlefield with everything going on, because he doesn't do any damage. He doesn't do much of anything in there. Boom, there's the big sandstorm ult. Again, just about takes out everyone, and he ults that much faster. Yeah, look at all of that. I mean, 57 million right there. And remember, with more heroes, he gets stronger, which is, again, going to be kind of interesting to see. Yeah, the delay in here. Boom, so he pops up, does the ult. And again, at 123, he pops in. Pretty much just rampages everyone over. Now 39. Now, of course, he is very, very subjective to crowd control. We've seen it earlier. Let's go ahead and put this up another 100 levels and see if he is just going to get crushed in these formations. Because again, very subjective when it comes to the power to crowd control itself. We've seen him locked down in a few different formations. Boom. There he goes. So he goes on the enemy side. He's where Kelton is. And yeah, look at the damage. So he did take a little bit right there. 135 million. I want to see a few formations. And I want to see if some of these he can't get to. Because even here, all ability goes up. The haste is up. And nothing else happens. Just a couple other heroes using their abilities because there's nothing else to do. Boom. See, even look there. That's what I'm afraid of. I feel like if he takes damage, he is going to die very, very fast. He doesn't have much or really any damage mitigation at all. Might have made him a little bit too squishy. Now I know formations, we're not going to run him in here by himself. But this also makes me think right off the bat that front line is not going to be an option by any means. Look at the crowd control. That is very, very cool with the crowd control aspect. And again, I can see Treasure Scramble a couple other places, 157 million. Also being able to amplify the damage that he's putting out. I'm kind of thinking like when we start getting the crit damage amplification, I'm thinking of like a Shuna, a Lava Tune, someone that's going to increase the amount of damage he's doing. See, there's the silence. Still took it down. And a lot of people are wondering, where's his arm? If you haven't noticed, that's probably one of the biggest comments that I got today. You'll notice right here, he does have his right hand out. If you notice the left side, not exactly sure. And I do not really follow the lore very much, but they're not 100% sure exactly what happened to his arm because he does only have one arm in this this iteration of. Now, here's the Mitsu. Now, interesting because this is going to be the totems. Boom, and he gets teleported from Oden. So Oden is going to shut him down with the energy disintegration. Yeah. So just like that, guys, Oden just shut him down in the entirety. All right, so let's pop him in a formation with a couple others. And if you guys remember the old school formation, this was the 5-pull formation when we actually ran Skriath, which if you remember, that was the original version of Iran, which I want to put it in here just to try it for a fun. A lot of times you run lures in that combination. Sometimes we had the original version of Leica in here, really depending on who you're fighting. But the original version of Skriath would move the 3 and the 5 to the middle, and then Iran would pull everybody in this formation. Now, a lot of times players ran like the original version of Brutus in here. We've seen Taylene in here. We've seen a couple ones. Even most recently, Queen was part of this formation, if you guys remember, where she would bring everyone together. And I just want to see kind of what this looks like with the old school pull. And I know we're not going to pull all of them in here, but we can't do the top and the bottom. I'm very disappointed that they did not do the 5 pull in here. But there we go. So there's his ult. Just runs everyone over, which is pretty cool to see. Yeah, big delay coming in. 81, even 58 there by Queen. Let's level up or take these levels a little bit higher. And I feel like anything where the battle is going to be a little bit shorter is not going to work. It's not going to work with them. Again, I feel like they're almost locking him out of the Nightmare Corridor. Just look at the amount of the battle that's already done. Boom, comes right through. Even got the shield up on Brutus. Yeah, they might need to adjust him. 288. Doing pretty good with that. Again, I know it's the 5 pull. Let's put this up a little bit higher because I want to run them in a couple different formations and see kind of where this damage crowd control aspect is going to come in. Because remember, also with his ultimate ability, it does a knockback. So there is that knockback. And you might lose half your team before he even pops into battle. But I mean, there's the pushback, and it pushes it back quite a bit. I mean, there is a pretty considerable knockback. And of course, the crowd control right there. You can see we're just pulling some of the heroes, just moving them kind of around. Skriath goes down to Kelthar. Yeah, 393. All right, let's take him out of this regular formation. And I know, fortunately, Maulers. I know there's not a lot of love for the Maulers in their entirety and kind of the design build in there. Let's put a couple of support in here and let's throw in like a tank. Let's go in with a tank or two. See, we could do Lava Tune in here. We could do a couple. Let's do Shuna. I like Shuna. I like the build of Shuna. Let's see what this looks like. Because remember, he's also, well, he's not going to come in. So Skriath picks up the armor right there. So he enters battle. He's got the armor. Boom. And you can see the continuous damage that he has because even there is another alt. Let's see where he is damage wise. 868. All right. Again, even coming in very low in the damage. Remember, we also do not have, I wonder if that's going to make a big difference. I don't think I have collections at all on the test server. I don't think I've went in and got any of these collections because yeah, he has literally probably the worst that he could ever see. Collection wise, we have a couple. So I mean, even something like a Windbinder. Yeah, collections, like I said, collections. I don't think I have collections. I have the old school ones. We can throw that in there. That means he's going to come in with a ton of energy. So he's already going to come in. He's already going to alt off the bat. So unfortunately, this isn't going to make a difference because he's going to come in and he's going to alt. There we go. Now, of course, gaining some more energy right there. And see, I mean, short of land, which we can replace land and see kind of what this looks like. Because even there's 779. Yeah, let's drop land out of here and also go up a couple more levels. I mean, the damage isn't horrible. It isn't really horrible scaling in here. Again, we can throw in like a Lava Tune, which I know Lava Tune's going to come right over here. But I want to see at the point, at what point, you know, was most of the heroes dying out while he's still up and alive? Because there we go. There's the ultimate ability. Yeah, there he ults again, pushing everyone right to the back. Wow. Yeah, that crowd control is pretty wicked. 1.13 billion damage. Let's see if he can take more. Let's see, because again, we're not losing a lot of heroes in here. I'm wondering kind of where with crowd control, and I'm almost thinking with a couple different crowd control heroes, what would it look like to lock this down? And even there, he doesn't have a Stril's armor, which I think he just got it. Yeah, so I mean, look at the crowd control in there. Boom, another ultimate ability. I know Kelthar's all over him. He's probably going to die in a second. Still has the armor up, though. Yeah, I mean, he's got the immunity. 5 kills right there. 3.58 billion damage. So I'm almost thinking if you're keeping him alive for an extended amount of time, um, that's pretty impressive. 3.58 billion damage. And I don't even know. Let's go up to 60. Remember, this is at what, a 300? No, 400 level deficiency. Again, the rest of the team kind of gets run over, especially early because of how much this high level deficiency there. Still got the armor up. And here comes the crowd control. And I love running Shuna. A lot of players really underestimate how strong Shuna is. And remember, he's hitting everyone here. Continuous damage. He's doing direct damage. Yeah, I mean, look at the crowd control in the back. That is kind of crazy. I know we have the minions in here and you know, just a couple other things, but yeah, he just keeps ulting. Yeah, 7 billion. Damage is going up. I mean, exponentially in here. Wow. Let me see if he's being used anywhere. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed with the damage. And again, think of having him built all the way out. Think of having, you know, him with an ideal collection, everything else. Let's see if it's being used anywhere here. Because whales, of course, are going to build him out day one. But a lot of players, go through with the trial version, everything else. Let's look at the leaderboards in here. Let's see what rocks in a couple other ones if we're seeing them. So there's Marcio. And again, it might be too early, or this honestly not the best iteration of building it out, but I wanted to just see if early. Nope, not seeing him in there. Let's go through two or three of these players. Still very, very early with the release. They're a Scion. Yeah, so I think that's going to be the exact same kind of behind all of these. And I think again, this that the dynamic build. Yeah, dynamic divisions are active. And then of course we do have right here Nightmare Quarter. Very cool looking boss, guys. When I wish what guild bosses would look like, this is it. This is spot on what guild bosses need to look like, what they really need to bring to AFK Arena. Even there, same, got Liberta in there, Scion in there, so it looks like kind of the same. Is in there. Final one does have Envy. Again, it might be a little bit too early to find a place for him because we're literally about an hour after the release over here. But very, very impressed with him. It's going to be interesting to see if he's coming in as a meta hero. Maybe, again, it's very early. Wait about 2 weeks, see exactly what you get with him, because in addition to not only getting the hero, remember, we do get all of the items that come in here, the sign-on gifts, so getting the cards every single day out of here, getting resources, getting all of the rewards out of here as well for your time emblems, which is always very, very cool to see the gift of time, the event deals for the bundle, and then, of course, the bountiful trials in there as well. Farming everything you can out of here to get all of the resources to try to build these up a little bit further, build them up a little bit faster, and see exactly how they work. But like I said earlier, if you're already working on a meta hero, I would go ahead and just continue working on the hero, wait to see exactly where and if Skriath does fall into anything, but it's going to be interesting. So all right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.